Anyway.
Yeah, they've got brown contacts on her. Very, very dark.
Maybe they CG'd it. Oh, wait.
Very dark. So the ape dryer is now given up and is now actually kind of picking
at knits or something.
At the knits in her hair. Well, actually, it says, we whip Pan into Mrs. Riley's cubicle where Chimp Dryer is daintily eating from her fingers whatever she may have just found in Mrs. Riley's hair. Now, we did not get that.
We don't get the eating. We get the picking. And I found myself, because she immediately goes into freak out mode.
She does.
Yeah.
And what I want to say is what she's doing now is not so far removed that you couldn't think she was doing something to get your hair correct. They should have had her. And they probably thought at that time maybe it was going too far. Right. To have her eat it, but they should have, because it was so ape-like that then I would have understood why she freaked out.
I really didn't know. I thought, I didn't see a comb. The fact that she's picking at her hair, I thought she was actually straightening her hair and finishing whatever little detail she needed, not annoying Mrs. Riley.
Yeah, and man, that I want to be combed out now sounds just like such a little whiny kid.
Okay, so do we get into the restaurant here?
Yeah, we cut, because then there's just like a hard cut to the restaurant.
So that is obviously. Did you have something else?
I do have something
else. Please go
else.
ahead and we'll get
I want
to
to mention about this. So in this whole scene, Dane has Armando and Caesar coming into the hair salon to have Lisa pass by and have that moment. But he did not give any other direction for Armando or Caesar. So they had to kind of add in the scene of them wanting to pass out a flyer,
right?
Because it was not.
It's not in the
script. It was not in the script. There was no other action for Armando and Zelda out of walking in and passing by Lisa.
Well, I'm glad they added something in, because that would have been odd otherwise. Then it would have only perpetuated that weird stalker feeling we had in the previous scene.
Well, what's happening now? I mean, we've now had 3 scenes. We've had the outdoor cafe, we've had the bookstore, and we've had the salon, where these 2 characters are moving around. And right now, and I feel like it's going to be even more relevant in the next couple of minutes, it just feels like they're casual observers to what this city is like, as opposed to having a purpose.
So, and we'll get into it in our minutes. I kind of had that thought too, because a lot of up till now with the scene that we had previously about talking about the dogs and cats and happening upon the statue have felt very lackadaisical in their way of recapping. So I even felt that too. I thought, what is their purpose here other than almost to be the R2 and 3PO sort of stumbling through a story that transpires around us. Now, how do you change that? Because you want to introduce your hero at the first of the movie. You want to do these things. Right. I think that Sean was the one that said last time that something about if Caesar were more of an organ grinder chimpanzee, anything like that, a little bit more like they're putting on a show would have been interesting instead of just this, hey, here you go.
Right.
Look at the way those are treated. Here you go.
Tiny hat, here's a flyer. Tiny hat, here's a flyer. So there's no direction for them at this scene. We do kind of end with the beauty operator saying, no, Zelda, no, and Mrs. Riley giving very much a Veruca Salt moment with, I want it now. I have a lunch to go to. I want my come out now.
I didn't find the Veruca in there, but I like that. You're right.
But to that point a few moments ago, it cuts to the restaurant, and it was abrupt.
Yeah.
And it's her. It's obviously
that's what I was assuming.
Following Ms. Riley again.
Yeah, it is. Because when I looked at it, I was like, okay, that looks like her, but you just don't do this unless it's a hard cut. Like, if she were to say a specific line and my hair has to look perfect for my husband. Your hair looks beautiful, my dear. Something like that transitions it. There's nothing. It is wham.
Or you see her like slam her fist down, and then you cut to a hand on a table.
Well,
and
that's
then
like
that's
in
her
the last movie.
Yeah.
We had that with Caesar. You've got to have something that bridges that gap, and there ain't nothing.
No.
It's weird.
And we go from, the direction is, I have a luncheon, and then we go to the restaurant corner table, Ms. Riley and her beau, and then Armando and Caesar now here passing out the flyers again. It's like they just suddenly, all 3 of them just transported to this location.
And does she not ever look over and go, God, I saw them earlier. Why are they everywhere I go? That would have worked. That would have done something. But it's a very, very weird thing.
Or you'll get the comment, hey, I've seen that guy in that chimp before, and then somebody else goes, I don't know, they all look the same to me.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that would have worked. But so, to be fair, this is made in the early 70s, and a lot of what they were doing then with cuts were trying to experiment with things. So this, you've got Thompson, who is a good director. You've got Dane, who's a good writer. They could have been trying to play with some of the new conventions that were out there where you don't have to completely say why you're over here. But it to us watching it, it just feels like you said, literally like somebody flipped the "let's go over there" switch. And we're suddenly there.
Everybody transported. Not just Ms. Riley, but everybody else. Like she's supposed to be.
They should be looking around like, hey, how'd I get here?
I mean, she's supposed to be our transition.
Right.
And clearly she's in a nicer mood than she was at the salon, right? Her hair is now perfectly done, and she's smiling. And
no nits.
No nits. And for some reason, he says, the gentleman, Beau, his literally
Is it
Beau,
literally Beau?
Beau, Beau.
Gross.
He says, Thursday then, Mrs. Riley, Thursday. And I'm like, What's up on Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday.
Like what a weird transition. Thursday then. Thursday for the next luncheon. Thursday for the uprising.
Right.
Like what is this random we got no bridge of conversation either between them.
Again, it should be the point of focus with them should be her hair. That her hair looks beautiful. I love it. You know, it would make some sense. But so then we have a little bit of a freak out session.
Right. So he says, I forgot the waiter, and she goes, I have it. But they added the line, I forgot the waiter, and I'm all out of raisins. Because he pulls a packet of raisins to tip the ape.
And it's like in a weird
waiter.
packet, too. Like you carry almost a change purse full of raisins.
Right. But I mean, they originally did not specify that it was raisins.
If we had a society where, now, you know, and I just watched Sean's wife and their dog come inside. But let's say we had a society where each one of us took our pet, dog or cat, everywhere. Would everyone have a change purse full of doggy biscuits and cat
I might
treats?
if I knew I had to, yeah.
It's just weird.
I have a box of dog treats in my truck.
My dogs are spoiled to that regard. They get things that, you know, they're our babies. You do that. It's just weird to walk around with here you go.
If they were doing tasks and you had them with you all the time, you would keep food on you. Think of it this way: anytime you went out with your baby, you always had some food on you.
That was just to keep her quiet.
Keep the apes quiet.
Here, bottle.
So Ms. Riley and her beau get up. They begin giving raisins to this young waiter ape, and then she kind of gets onto him for giving him too many.
Yeah.
You're over-tipping. You're giving way too much.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
They're raisins.
Now, that wasn't in the script. Your over-tipping was not originally
Well,
in the
raisins
script.
are full of sugar, so maybe we don't want our apes to have too much sugar.
There you go.
But she puts her hand over him, giving out the raisins. Like, stop.
She's just a bitch.
Yeah, she's not.
At least he's kind of okay. Here's my first kind human. He wants to tip the ape for his work.
Slap.
Yeah, you're over tipping. There was a conversation we didn't hear. I don't know if you want to.
I would love to hear
go into this, but there is another table, and I believe this is the table that the server is, you know, getting steam off of a flame and fire that causes the little chaotic moment we're about to have. Mm-hmm. But the scene happens between Tycoon 1 and Tycoon 2.
Oh, hey.
Tycoon 1 says, the real future is in hydroponic farming. I was having a talk with my son last night. Tycoon number 2, warily. Oh, Harry, why steer him into something like that? The big money's in synthetic alloys. Tycoon number 1, if you're selling to the government. But look what's happened to the space program. Cut to the bone. Tycoon 2. It'll come back. Tycoon 1. That's what you said about supersonic transport. Then we get the moment with Beau tipping raisins, and then the next moment. And the next moment starts in... This is the next minute.
I'd like to pose a vote.
That is the end of this minute, technically, was this little conversation.
I'd like to pose a vote to both of you.
Yeah.
Do we cut that scene of the tycoons? Is that a good cut?
Yeah, I think it's a good cut. Well, as far as I know, it doesn't add to the plot, but I don't know.
No.
Because that feels like nothing like but trying to put in...
Let's say future things.
Yeah, things that make it seem as though we're in a different world. And I think those kind of things can be heard in the background as you pass by. If someone said, oh my God, I put all my money in hydro farming.
No,
and then you pass by and that's the end of that. It's not a focus. If that had been a focus...
You have one guy just saying, some asshole told me the future was in plastics.
As you went through that, all I could think was, Benjamin, are you listening?
Uh-huh.
Are you listening to me? I have one word. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Plastics.
So he mentions hydroponic farming. He mentions synthetic alloy, the space program being cut back, supersonic transport. I mean, Dane is just like, hey, the future is now.
Right.
Is that what this conversation is supposed to do? But we're supposed to give some
They should
direction.
have said wind farms give you cancer while they're in there. That had been looking too far ahead.
Oh, my God. Sorry.
I knew I was going to throw you off the rails with that. Oh, the things I love going, hey, Richard. Well, okay, so we get a freak out. And by the way, is this kind of like a... That's right. But is this kind of like a futuristic Benihana weird? I mean, because I can't figure out what this restaurant is because it doesn't look like a French restaurant where they come and do something.
Tableside.
I can't figure this restaurant out either. I guess that's not really important.
There's just a lot of ornamentation on the walls.
It is food restaurant.
Carved.
It's a food restaurant.
And
it's raisin
metal
restaurant.
Sculptures hanging from the ceiling that I'm just like, man, that'd be a bitch to dust.
Okay.
I looked around there, I'm like, that would be a bitch to dust. And you know they don't.
Well, that's why you get the apes in there to do.
And that is Richard for the recovery. After I pushed him off the tracks, he comes back with the absolute best point of the whole minute. I think
That'd
that's
be a
about
bitch
it.
to
Though.
dust.
Yeah, that's a bitch to dust.
Minute.
Has anybody got anything else?
That's it for me.
That's all I got.
All right, let's throw that one into the books. We'll be back tomorrow with minute 12, right? 12?
Yep.
Yes, 12. Until then, everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
The minute of the apes. The minute